Hello there, I'm the Common Sense Guy, and yes, I'm actually doing a video with my face. You'll see why very, very, very soon. Now, what we're actually going to get into today, as you can tell by the title, is we had somebody that was, shall we say, a black supremacist. For instance, somebody who was a black nationalist, at least. And we had him booked, everything was going well. But apparently I was being, what was it? What was it again? Oh yeah, I was being disrespectful to this gentleman, apparently. I will show you in my comment section of the video that I did of him how disrespectful I was, apparently. And throughout the whole of this video, and just this video, I'll be showing my face because I wanted to prove a point to him. But let's carry on, shall we? So, this is where we start. We start from my actual video. Confused guy screams about white supremacy. So obviously most people of my channel would have watched this video. If not, the link will be linked in the description, so please have a look at it if you want context of what we're actually talking about. But let's carry on to these actual points in the comments, in the comment section from this gentleman, shall we? So let's move down. As you can see, we've got a couple of people that always do the same and always reply to us. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the first one, which is the view all 3 replies. And then we're going to go into the actual one that is view all 21 replies. Yes, we had a very lengthy conversation in the chats, apparently. So let's go have a look at this, shall we? So for context of this little point, this is talking about the time where he thinks that time should begin at 5,000 years ago or 1,500 years ago, which is very interesting. Very, very interesting. And I pointed out that the universe is over billions of years old and the planet itself is over millions of years old. So does that not count as point in time? But whatever. We'll carry on from his actual point, shall we? And we'll read on from there and see how disrespectful I am to this gentleman. Potato, potato. When Europeans come into power, they changed how time was viewed and recorded. Also due to their influence among nations, this was accepted even by those who know better. Time should be based upon the first recordings of time by whomever that was, but clearly due to racism, yes, it's all down to racism, nothing to do with the fact that people were conquered or colonized or whatever word you want to use for it. Yes, they were. It was all racism because these timekeepers were not pink. Yes, he uses pink a lot, so get used to that one. Such is ignored, being replaced by time based upon a fictional religious character created by European pink males. Yes, as I said, he uses pink a lot, so get used to it. Weirdly. Instead of trying to make excuses for wrongdoing because you're pink, which I never made an excuse for any wrongdoing, I just stated what he said was wrong. That time began billions of years ago if you want to go by the universe's standards, or at least millions of years ago if you want to go by the planet's standards. That's literally all I was saying. I wasn't actually defending anybody or anything from anything. Because you're pink yourself is doing yourself and humanity to self a disservice, giving power to the racism you also claim you're against or have no part in. Respect you. So, very, very interesting points at that point in time. Because I have now gone against him, he's now trying to interject by saying, well, no, actually, we're actually trying to say that you're racist because you're against me. If that's not the actual antithesis of a victimhood complex, I really do not have a clue what is going on that point. So let's have a look at my little response, because I was trying to get him in for a live stream, so I didn't really respond that well. So I just put, very interesting point, can't wait to have that live stream, which I will sort. And his response to that was, I am only available on weekends or by phone during weekends in late evenings. I've heard your argument over and over again for now a decade. Well, that's good. You should have been able to tie rings around me in that little debate then, shouldn't you? But apparently, no, you've decided that I'm disrespectful to you and have decided that you're going to pull out. Sorry, no, wait. First of all, it was a case of you, what was it? You remembered that you had a prior arrangement. Just remember that for this point when we get to that. That he's available weekends, on the phone, live streams, whatever. But apparently, no, at this moment in time, he later on remembers that he's got a prior engagement. Prior engagement, you say? Interesting. Anyway, let's move back on. It's sad, just because you're pink yourself, you find the need to defend racists. Then you wonder of why you're called devil, just like the rest of the pink racists, open or convert. So already trying to allude that I'm racist because I'm going against his points, which is interesting. It's an interesting point. I've dealt with people like this quite often. It's quite funny. So then at the end I put, wow, that's so inclusive. So I'm racist because I'm pink. Laugh out loud. Do you see the irony? Laugh out loud. Which, hopefully most people watching this will see the irony. If not, we explain that later on, don't you worry. By definitions and all sorts, because definitions gets changed. Let's just carry on. We'll get there. You free Saturday 13th or Saturday 20th of January. At that point I received an email, but I am not going to go through emails because they're personal. So at this point in time, we're going to go back up to view all 21 replies, and then we're going to carry on reading from there. Interesting. Just for context on this point, the reason why we're talking about unselfishness and giving money and things like that is because he says in his original video, which will also be linked in the description box below, it's because he comments in his video that he's able to give £3,000 to charities and actually physically give them the money. Now, I had no problem with this. I obviously said in the actual video that I did in response to this, that that's absolutely amazing, well done for doing that, you're a good person. So I never once said that it was a bad thing or anything else like that. The only thing that I stated was that if you've got 3,000 spare, you can't really be a slave class or oppressed class because you've got money spare to give to people. And this is where we differ on points, so let's carry on with the actual video. Instead of paying my bills, I take the monies to help those perhaps are less fortunate. This doesn't negate my being a target of racism or oppression, as my peace could be broken, which is something that he says for his New Year's thing, which is his original video, that his peace can be broken at any point in time. Now, I was going to completely gloss over the fact that he said that instead of paying my bills, which is interesting to me. So what you're trying to say is that when the white man, or pink man in your case, decides that he's going to try and, I don't know, take your house away because you're not actually paying your bills, or take your phone away because you're not paying your bills, or take anything away because you're not paying your bills, that's going to be racism and the fact that you're oppressed. Is it? Or am I just wasting my time on that one? Anyway, let's carry on, shall I? Anytime, wishing I had the monies I give away to hire a lawyer. Nobody gave me nothing, nor won some lottery I give from the heart, expecting nothing in return. I am sure slaves done good deeds, yet still lived under oppression. Your thinking is just excuse making for behaviours of racists. Really? So it's just an excuse, is it, for racists and things like that, is it? My actual point was trying to prove to you the fact that you cannot be oppressed, you cannot be a slave class if you're earning money. The point and the fact of saying that if you have enough money to be able to give people, then how can you be oppressed? Because you are helping other people not be oppressed. Do you see the flawed logic there? Or is that just me? Probably just me. Never mind. By the way, this is the point where apparently I disrespected him. Dude, I was stating that if you were earning enough monies to be able to give money to charity, that your life is better than mine, as I cannot afford to give even a penny, as I would love to do. The actual point was saying you can't be oppressed if you are earning money. Slaves do not earn money. Wow, I made a really good point there. I must pat myself on the back. Anyway, let's carry on with the actual point, shall we? I am not your dude. Ooh, sorry. I'll call you sir from now on. I simply decided to sacrifice my own wants, and you can also if you wish. No, I have bills to pay, I have obligations to meet. It's up to you if you don't want to pay your bills, sir. It really, really is, but I like to pay mine because I don't have a victim complex where everything I do is against everything somebody else does. But whatever. It is according to how you wish to live. No, it's according to you if you want to obey the law or not. During the time of Nazi Germany, yes, let's go back into history because I need a history to pull out the fact that I'm not actually oppressed now, but I was back then. Jews were wealthy. It didn't stop them being placed in an oven, so your argument is moot. No, my argument is not moot. It was a fact that people were actually being physically oppressive to people. And first of all, they lost all of their monies, they lost all of their stuff because they were put into internment camps. Or as what some people would call concentration camps. So, yeah, they lost everything first, so then they were being oppressed. It's the fact that you can't have anything that makes you oppressed and slaves. But, let's move on, shall we? Many women have money, but oppressed by abusive husbands. Yeah, what's that got to do with racism? Yes, that's really, really horrible, and I completely and utterly disagree with that, and I really, really do. But what's that got to do with racism and oppressive? The reason why I say that is because women, if they're in a Western civilized country, can go to the police so long as they got proof of burdens and everything else like that. They will get taken away. There is lots of places where they can go to. You are being oppressed by one person. You are not being oppressed by the country. There is a difference. There is a difference. Keep making excuses for racists. Because that's what I did when I was talking directly to you about what you were doing. Right. So at this point in time, I just wanted to calm the conversation, and I just wanted to remind him that we were going to actually be talking about all of this. So I've sent you an email. Let's sort this debate out, friend. How are abusive husbands anything to do with racism? Notice how I actually put the fact that what's it to do with racism, not being oppressed. How is what happened to Jews in Germany anything to do with racism? Because just because you're Jewish doesn't make you the fact that you're a racist. I believe the actual word is xenophobia for that. I believe. I'm not sure. We'll move on to that definition later on. Woo! All your arguments are moralistic. Please try harder in our chat soon. Which is what I would like to actually have done. But never mind, we'll move on, shall we? I replied to your email. You say people can't have money, but be abused or oppressed, yet the abused wife and the so-called Jew both can have money. Never said it had anything to do with racism. This is all his point. Even though at the end of that, it says you'll keep making excuses for racist. So please stick to a particular point, because otherwise you kind of lose what you're actually trying to say, don't you? All you wish to do is make excuses for racists simply because you're pink yourself, trying to demean the reality of a victim of such evil. Which I didn't. I didn't actually diminish anything. All I was pointing out was the fact that being offensive to Jews is not a form of racism. It's a form of bigotry, which comes under the umbrella term of racism. But whatever on that one. The fact that you were talking about abusive husbands to their abused wives is not the fact that you were talking about racism. You were talking about oppression. Oppression is different to racism. But we'll get there in the end, won't we? We'll get there in the end, apparently. Like I said, I really don't care what you think. Pinks are criminal people, so one can't expect justice from a criminal. Interesting point, because you make that very, very clear later on as well. Make excuses to justify what has been done. Try to make yourself some victim. Sad. Now, I'm going to need help on this one, especially on this point. Where oh where did I say that I was a victim? Where oh where have I said anything else like that whatsoever? I don't even bring up my medical points because I don't want them to be used as a point of me saying, I feel really bad today. I don't like using them as excuses. I don't like being a victim. That's the difference between me and you. That's the difference between me and you. Me and you. Sorry. But that is the difference between me and you. It is the fact that I don't see myself as a victim. You do for some weird reason. I don't know why. But the fact that you keep on trying to point out or trying to insinuate that I'm racist just because I'm defending my points against yours is a ludicrously moralistic argument. And you're failing on that argument every time we talk. But let's move on. So, as you can see, we've moved down. Question. If I was saying all blacks do this or that, would I be racist? Which I didn't put a question mark in because I'm a dick. If so, why is it okay for you to at least be bigoted by saying all pinks? Can't wait to sort out a time for you on the 13th. Because I really couldn't. It was going to be an interesting talk because I wanted to find out what was going on. And I still can't find any way where I was disrespectful to you. And I don't see where I actually said dude in this point where he tries to say that I said dude again. But whatever. Let's carry on. Again, I am not your dude. Which I never said dude. But yes, well, I never said dude again. Ever heard of yes sir or no sir? Ever heard of... Oh yeah. This is the point where he actually decides that this is the way that he's going to weasel out of getting into the debate. So watch how his wording changes. Ever heard of respect? Clearly, you don't know what a racist or racism is. That is your problem. Even so, I never say the word all. You will be made to look stupid. Well, look who's being stupid now. I'm still up for the debate. Where are you at? That's right. You're not here, are you? You're not. Anyway, I suggest that you study your topic before trying to place me in a place I don't fit. I ain't placed you in any place you don't fit. This is all your talk. This is all your place. This is you. We'll see how that goes later on, shan't we? I am not some bigot or prejudice. I must speak reality. You must speak. No. I try. Not you must. Just interesting point, isn't it? I must speak reality. No. Even when I speak, I'm speaking from my opinion. Doesn't mean it's a reality. Sorry, it just doesn't. I don't make excuses for wrong regardless of skin colour. In fact, I won't stand with my mother if she's wrong. That's a great point. But first of all, you actually have to believe that you are right or believe that you are wrong to be able to make a moralistic judgment. And you've made yours. It's just the fact that you think that you're under a victim complex, as I can understand at this moment in time, which is interesting. Very, very interesting. But, as I said, we won't get there at this point in time, so let's carry on, and this is my reply. We shall see, sort the time. I do have respect, but it is given, not expected. Which, let me just quickly clarify, because I do later on anyway. Giving respect to people doesn't mean that you are not respectful. Just because I meet you on the street and I say sir or madam or whatever, doesn't mean I respect you. It means I'm being respectful to you. There is a difference. But let's carry on. As said, short time please. I am very interested in this talk and you making me look stupid. Which I was. I still am. To a point. I find it very, very interesting that I'm the one who's chasing you to be able to have this debate, but yeah, I'm the one who's going to be made look stupid. It's very, very interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. So, moving on to the last little bit. Well, I say last little bit. There's tons more. Respect should be expected. No. Being respectful should be expected. Being respected is something that you earn. Same as friendship. It's not something that is expected. It is earned. That's the problem. But let's carry on. That is your problem. You don't know me from a can of worms. Exactly, that's why I don't respect you, but I am respectful. But I'm drumming this point into the ground. It is the civilized thing to do, but the arrogant can't understand. Yep, I am so arrogant. I already know your mindset. How arrogant of you, sir. Do you see what I just did there? It is expected from pinks. Oh, look, that all pink argument again. Interesting. I heard your argument over the years. It is usual excuse making for racists. In fact, most of y'all are racist but don't even know it. Interesting. Putting all pinks together and put them all into one particular class. I know that you put most in there as well, but it's an interesting point, isn't it? You don't even know it. Interesting. Trying to paint yourself as some holier than thou while your government are killing dark-skinned people all over this planet, as I write. The first and real terrorists, which is the government apparently, which maybe, I'm not 100% sure, but you describe terrorism as the fact of people invading. I describe terrorism as the fact of people actually causing panic and terror because of a political or ideological point. But we get that very, very soon. It didn't become terrorism until the victims started fighting back the best way they could by blowing up innocent people and going after civilians instead of the government that actually goes after them. Yeah, let's make a story after it. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? This is my response. 1, it's your government too. You voted for it. 2, you pinks. Well, that's a bit bigoted. I mean racist. 3, respect is given. 4, I'm not religious. 5, I don't hide under a preset, meaning I don't hide under the fact of all this or all that or all you. I don't do that. I take each and every individual as they come. And 6, terrorism is planning an attack, political or ideological attack on a group of people to cause panic and terror. Ta-da! 7, are you sorting out the time for the 13th? As I was trying to say, I'm still trying to be as respectful as possible. I am still trying to be that, apparently. Some of these start getting quite long, so I'm sorry if it takes a while. Yes, my government also. It was created by and controlled by pinks. Yep. So, expected, it was illegal to have slaves here over 300 years. Pink is not racist. Apparently not. Under the banner of racism, it is not found only... Sorry, let me just read that again. Under the banner of racism, it is not found only black, white, red, yellow, or brown people, so please explain. I will do, but that's just funny. Just because you decide to substitute the word white, for the word pink, does not mean that it's not racist. You are calling all of a particular race which you deem as a particular colour. It's like me trying to say that an Asian man is yellow or brown or whatever, and then calling them all as that point. I just find that absolutely funny. I really, really do. But whatever, we'll cover that at another point. Since respect is a given and not expected, I will respectfully decline to interact with those who have no respect for another. And at that point, I received an email from him saying that I am no longer interested in doing this debate because you have no respect for me. But I can't show those emails because I am not that much of an arse. I am not religious. I never said you were. You claimed that I was, and I was responding to your comment. And yes, I just knocked the mic because I'm starting to get annoyed. The word terrorism didn't appear when such terrorism was done solely by pinks. Look, the word terrorism is done as what I've just said. It is to cause panic by a political or ideological point of view on civilians or government buildings. What you're trying to claim is the colonization of places. The fact that the empire was built and things like that. You also have to remember that the Zulus had their empire in Africa and things like that, which took over loads of blacks. You also have to remember that the Egyptians had a massive empire as well, which took over a lot of blacks and Jewish people and all those type of things from the Middle East as well. You also have the point of the Ottoman Empire that took over most of the world, including most of Europe, including most of Africa, including most of Eurasia's continent. So not necessarily China and places like that, but it took over the north of India and things like that. It just couldn't get past the mountains to go down to the south. There's lots of points where you just completely soul over. You're just blinded by this racist point of view that you want to perpetuate. And I find that so funny. I really, really do. In fact, cause some people to go extinct along with animals. Well, I don't know of any peoples that have gone extinct. I don't know of any peoples or races that have gone extinct. I know that the culture has gone extinct, but the peoples themselves hasn't. Along with animals like the dodo bird. Yeah, I'm just going to gloss over that. That hurt my head when you even mentioned it. So I'm just going to pretend that you meant buffalo or something like that, because that really just hurt my head, to be honest with you. It really, really did. I don't go back and forth with a pic of a cat. Oh yeah, you're going to attack me because I use an avatar. Aww. There is a reason why y'all hide. Since you claim you have no money, then certainly ain't to protect a job. No, it was actually, as I stated in my intro video, as I use as my platform or my mission statement, so to speak, is I use an avatar because I don't want my face to be the point that I'm making. I want it to be the point. It's the reason why I use an avatar generally. So my response is, I can't wait to debate you, sir, if it ever happens. So Obama was a slave. Was he in your government? Just because you use a different colour, it still fits racism. No, why are you calling all a race, a people, all a particular thing? Meaning you are discriminating against at people, not a people because I'm an arse and an idiot, but at people due to their race or colour of skin. Yeah, a lot of animals went extinct. Not to say that they should or shouldn't have been, but that happens by humans. That is a human trait. As for pinks, hair, and blacks, as you say, blacks have recorded a much longer history of fighting and killing each other. Same as whites have a history of killing whites. Doesn't make it okay, but history. What happens now in majority Muslim countries? Black people are still slaves now. Why are you not fighting that? By the way, pulling out of a debate because you think I have no respect for you is cowardly. Offer is still there, sir, if you can handle it. I don't really have too much to say to that point, because I kind of said everything I wanted to in that point. Misspelled, but it's kind of what I wanted to say. And here we have an attack on my name, which is absolutely amazing, because as everybody knows who watches any form of my live streams or our live streams with Oku and Magic Bollocks, is the fact that the reason why I chose the name Common Sense is because it doesn't exist. And I wanted to use it as a fallacy. The reason why I wanted to use it as a fallacy is because people would always go against my name. If I was to say that I was the best at debating or whatever, then people would always go, oh, you're the best and blah, blah, blah. I used to use that when I used to play pool quite a lot. I always had that as my little name, because I found it so funny how when people were trying to trash talk you, they immediately go for your name. I just find it funny. But yeah, that's my little explanation out of the way. The US government is basically comprised of over 90% pinks, meaning that 10% are black, meaning that 10% according to you are all tokens. Apparently. Interesting point, isn't it? Obama was elected when things going bad. So to blame dark-skinned people, Obama is no... Yeah, I completely lost that. That was just weird. But let me just reclaim this point quite quickly. When things going bad, so to blame dark-skinned people. That's why he was elected for 2 terms. 2 terms, not 1. So he was elected for 8 years in total. Yeah, token? I don't see how. Obama is no longer in office, and they still trying to blame him for things he had nothing to do with. Well, that's the point that could have come up in a discussion, isn't it? I have an American friend, you two could have been able to talk about those points on what he did wrong and what he did right. Not my place, not my politics, so I wouldn't even go into it. Mind you, he means nothing to me, just another murderer. Of course he wouldn't, because you know you would lose on that point. Just how does pink fit racism? You ignore that point. No, I didn't. I explained it by saying that just because you substitute white for pink, doesn't make it the fact that you're still not attacking a race. It doesn't fit. No harm has come to anyone because they were called pink. No harm has come to anybody because they were called black. No harm has come to anybody called by those names, but the fact that you're calling them names doesn't necessarily mean that you're not being racist. You're being bigoted by saying that all pinks, all this, all that, do this, do that. But whatever. What so-called blacks do to one another has nothing to do with an outsider. Interesting point. I thought we were all humans. I thought we were all supposed to be able to help each other. But does that mean that we should all be segregated? Does that mean that all Asians should stay in Asia? Does that mean all Europeans should stay in Europe? All Africans in Africa? All Americans in America? Because if so, how is that not being racist or bigoted? But whatever. As I can call my mother a name, but you better not. Yeah, apparently it's a distraction tactic. Interesting point, when you were the one who brought it up and I was just responding to it. But whatever. I have nothing to do with modern day slavery. Interesting point though, isn't it? That you claim everything is to do with slavery, but yet you're not going to combat modern day slavery. Interesting. Can't help them until I help self. Yeah, however that works. But can empathise. And now he's going to attack me because I have attacked him, which is fair enough, but I still don't see it as being disrespectful. Hiding behind a pick of a cat is cowardly. Is it? Is it? Well, seems cowardly now, doesn't it? That was the point of this little video, to be honest. But we're going to carry on because it gets even juicier. It is wise to decline to go into hostile territory when respect is a given, not expected. I think you fucked up there. But whatever. As I said to you in email and as I said to you in here quite a lot of times, especially afterwards, I'm being respectful to you doesn't mean I respect you. But whatever. What is the benefit for me? I don't care what pinks think or believe. You don't have respect for nobody. Remember? It is a given. No, it's not a given. It is given. But whatever. Let's move on to my little point, shall we? As I said, let me guess, Obama was a token black guy for 2 terms. Just because you'll call someone pink instead of white doesn't change the fact that you say pinks do this, pinks do that, claiming a whole race of people are at fault for some of their ancestors' sins. So I will give you respect if you like. I would gladly debate you with my face showing if you want. I never said that I didn't respect you or who I didn't respect. I haven't called you anything but dude once. Your move. And still moving on, still carrying on. I hope people are still actually watching and listening. Because I wanted to prove the point that the fact that I wasn't the one that's been rude, he's been trying to weasel out. So I hope people are still watching. So this is his response to that little point. Yes, Obama was a token black. In fact, called black, but a mulatto. Which obviously means a form of mixed race. I say pink because it is a general term for a certain majority. It is not to say all. Well, that's different. And this is absolutely funny. And we're going to get into this now. If the Vietnam War was wrong, but you didn't lend your voice to those of a protest, then you're guilty also. Yes, guilty by association. Interesting, isn't it? Just because you don't want to actually have a political activist point doesn't mean that you don't believe in the same thing. It just means you don't want to be politically active. There is a difference. But whatever. You don't have to commit murder, but you can be charged with being an accessory because you knew about it. Yeah, but the point is, if you knew about a murder and you didn't actually do anything against it, then yeah, fair enough, you can be. But knowing against a war and not doing anything about it does not make you an accessory to murder. And as you were saying before about all slaves and things like that, 1% of white people own slaves. 1% in America. 1%. Does that mean 99% are all accessories? even though they wouldn't have been able to fight the government. Interesting point, isn't it? It is funny, one can benefit from what their father's done, yet supposed to be exempt from its aftermath. Yeah, it's the point of saying that murderers and murderers' sons are different. As in, the sins of my father will not be passed on to the father's sons. I don't see where... I mean, I do see where you're going, because I know where this has gone, but... Well, we'll get to that nugget very, very soon. You should give people respect, period. I'm respectful. I don't have to respect you. That is how I was raised, same as I was. I was raised to be respectful. You prove unworthy. I'm unworthy. I am the unworthy. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. That is another matter. Interesting. Due to time differences, I don't know right now, but I will contact you as early as possible. Saturday? I forgot. I made a promise to another, so it might be next weekend. Play it by ear. And that's where he's decided that he's actually going to pull out. It's very, very interesting. We're going to carry on because there's not too many left, really, to be fair. So I put, stop running, sir. You say pinks do this, pinks do that. Though you are not saying, oh, you heavily imply it. The sin of our fathers don't fall onto their sons. Meaning I committed no crime. Same as you are no slave. See what I did there? See what I did there? You have a weird understanding of accessory to murder. I treat people respectfully, as I have you, sir. Doesn't mean I respect you. How can I? I don't know you. I can, however, be respectful to you. Funny how after at least 3 hours of talking, you just remembered you have a prior arrangement. I already said after you goaded me to that I would debate you face to face, so to speak. Time zones are hard, but I do a show with American. I'm sure I can be accommodating. Oh, by the way, a week from Saturday is fine with me. So still trying to say that I'm still up for it, if he is. I'm still up for it. I'm still up for it now. As you can probably tell. I don't run from nobody. Plus, I'm too old. It was pinks that made race an issue and actions taken as based upon race. That is therefore not mine. Well, no, because, say for instance they did. Just as a hypothetical. Say that they did that as a hypothetical. Then that means that you have the choice not to fight on their terms. The fact that you're fighting on their terms means that you're assimilating their ideas and doctrine. Ooh, you're smart. No, it's just common sense. Ta-da! You're always trying to blame the victim. What do you mean you're always trying to blame the victim for his or her misery? Generally, if it's something that they've done, for instance, like they've decided to rob a bank, then it's their fault. If it's their fault that they decided to bunk off school and got really crap grades, then it's their point. It's their misery. Own it. If their fathers have decided they've moved to a ghetto, for instance, and then they've decided that they are going to actually bunk off school and join a gang, that is their fault. Nobody else's. Theirs. That's why this point that you make right now is absolutely stupid. The sins of the fathers do fall upon the progeny, when the progeny benefits are from certain actions. If I live in a house bought by my dad, a bank robber, then it is only too right to leave that house paid with dirty money. Look, I understand your point. I really, really do. I do understand your point. But that's up to the government to decide whether or not they're going to take the money back. But, again, you do make a good point. But that doesn't mean that the son or the daughter is responsible for what their dad did. That's still the actions of what their dad did. Do you not understand the difference? Millions of dark-skinned peoples were murdered. So were loads of pink-skinned, as you say, and removed from their lands. So were so many white people. Look at the Irish. You look at any form of Europeans, especially when it's going towards Turkey and places like that, the Ottoman Empire. You just have a look at history. There's so many points where people can say, other people have done this to me. But yet, it doesn't really matter because you want to be the victim. even when they help pinks to survive, and pinks become world powers, but their children benefit. Did you give their lands back? No, the progeny of pinks continue to this day. The murder and exploitation of dark-skinned peoples. Let me ask you a question. Why in most American sports, and I say most because I'm not going to use the hashtag not all, but in most American sports, the most active and successful sportsmen are generally black people? Then that's not to call out any sort of form of racism. That's to call out the point of saying that if they were not allowed to succeed because they're oppressed and because of racism, then why are they the most successful sports stars? It doesn't really make sense to your racism and the fact that you have to have the sins of your fathers. And this is a point that I want to remember for everybody for a later point. I am a self-made lawyer. So remember that. I am a self-made lawyer. We will come back to this in a very, very short time. I'm a self-made lawyer that have filled papers to the highest of the courts. I know what accessory to murder is. And you can go to prison for it. I know. Yes, being human and such wasn't confirmed. I did speak with another about doing his show. This I forgot, then remembered. Yep, you did. Yeah, you did. It just took you 3 hours. Nobody's afraid of you. I never said you were. I said you're running from the argument. You say the same crap I heard 4 years defending your racist friends. If you're not racist yourself. Interesting. I'm not the one going around saying all blacks did this, all blacks did that, and then substituting that word with pinks. Ding. Again, I could care less what you think. I think you're supposed to say couldn't, but whatever. Y'all fake self-righteous pinks is the worst. The kind that smile in your face while stab you in the back. Interesting. Where have I stabbed you in the back? No? Didn't think so. Carrying on. I have pink subs that have been with me for years. They understand injustice. They understand what I describe. I respect those with honest integrity and good character. In all your replies, all I hear is some weak attempt to defend racists. Well, interesting. I've defended racists, have I? Don't see where I've defended any racist. I might have defended the government. I might have actually have pointed out humanity and the fact that humanity is flawed in itself. But I don't really see how that's defending racists. But if I did, I'm so sorry. Anyway, like I said, remember, lawyer. Remember that. Remember that for me, please. So here's my little point. Here's a challenge. Show me where I defended racism. I'll wait. So if the sins of the father fall on the children, then all people that have rapists in their family or murderers, robbers and so on, all go to prison. All the black people that sold and owned slaves need to pay back, in your opinion. If you're not running, sir, set a date and time. Racism in systems or actions based in what is called race to give a benefit and advantage to the superior race, of which is always been pink. Yes, if the family members benefit from the rape, such is true. What the fuck is that? What the fuck? Yup, you raped, you got a baby from it, you benefited. Fuck you. Yep, you got raped by somebody who was absolutely rich at the time and they paid you off. You benefited. What a cunt. If that rape caused you to inherit a fortune, yes. Has nothing to do with the fact that you have, been raped, have psychological scarring, mental anguish, physical pains. Nothing to do with that. No? You got money, so you're alright. Why is it has everything to do with fucking money? Anyway, let's move on. I have nothing to do with the black people did or didn't do, just more distraction tactics. No, listen to your point. You're saying that the father sins go to the children, meaning that black people that sold black people should also have that on their conscience. Not a distraction tactic. Actually what you were saying. Wouldn't be allowed in no court in UK otherwise. Well, what would be? I don't understand that point. I never did when you made it, and I still don't now. I will info you ASAP. Still don't understand what that means. In regard to your invite, but this brief interaction makes it better to decline. As I said before, if that's what you want to do, then do it. I'm not really that bothered. It's just the fact that you really do live and think that you're such a victim. Right. So, if you are a lawyer, then you know that is not the definition of racism. This is racism. Noun. Blah, 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 blah. So, if someone is a criminal, their family becomes criminals too. That is the most flawed logic I've ever heard. I have been nothing but respectful towards you, sir. If you do not want to do the debate, then say so. I see your arguments and I'm not afraid of your 10 years in media. It seems I'm the one pushing for this talk while you weasel your way out of it. Salt the time and date, please. This is the one I wanted to show you how the fact that he just lies. Never said I was a trained lawyer. Even so, racism itself isn't a legal term. Right, where did we see that? Where did we see that? Was it 16 hours ago? I think it was that one. No, not that one yet. So it took me a while to find it because I'm a dickhead. But as you can see, I'm highlighting this. I am a self-made lawyer that have filled papers to the highest of our courts. I know what accessory to murder is. Well, okay. Back to where, I don't know, where we just went. Never said I was a trained lawyer. So you're a self-made lawyer, but you still said you're a lawyer. Or at least you implied that you're a lawyer. Interesting. Even so, racism isn't a legal term. Yeah, it is. Especially in the UK. Hate speech and things like that fall under racism and things like that. You also have racially aggravated attacks. Same as you have homophobic attacks in the US as well. So, yeah, you do have them in there. But whatever. The define was exactly what I said then. Later the racists changed it. Oh, they changed it. Oh, they just changed it. But that's what it was. You're so enlightened that it's been changed from a dictionary point of view. It's been changed from a dictionary definition. But you're so enlightened, you know exactly what it is. To what you speak about, in order to do exactly what you seek to do. Point fingers. No, I don't want to point fingers. I just want to point out that you're a racist. That's it. You're a racist. At its victims. This is why pinks are called devils. Deceitful and manipulative. No, you'll just have shit arguments that you can't back up and you have to lie and be disingenuous about. Ta-da! Or maybe you're just ignorant, following racist rhetoric. Yeah, I'm following the rhetoric. We'll get to that in a minute. I made my replies as simple as possible. There is nothing in flaw. It is like those who believe in Jesus. No matter what you say or prove, I don't have to weasel out of anything at this time. I decline your invite outright. Yep, you did. But, you know, at the beginning of this conversation, you were invited and we were going to talk. Talk on the 13th, I believe. And we were going to talk at 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Yep. But whatever. You've declined doing my invite outright now. Your logic just makes excuses for pink racists because you're pink. Wow. Make excuses for black racists because you're black. How racist does that sound? But yet it's okay for you to call pink racist because you're pink. Do I need to carry on? Yeah, I probably do. Let's carry on. You find a need to defend what those who have murdered countless in the name of pink. In the name of pink. In the name of... In the name of Pink, I will save you. I will slay you all. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh. I think this is one of the longest replies I actually put. And yeah, I've decided that I'm not going to be bothered with this gentleman anymore, so this is the last reply as well. You are the most stupidest person I've ever heard in my life. Which is true. I really mean that. No wonder why you don't want to have a debate with me. You can't even handle a comment section talk, which is true. You have to lie and change definitions to fit your narrative, but yet I'm the one that follows rhetoric blindly. Racism. And this is to explain why he's racist. And you can read the definition yourself. I cannot be bothered. You show almost all these. Pinks are this. Pinks do that. I can call pinks devils. Do you see the flaw in these statements you are making? I'm supposed to say making, but I obviously didn't. Statements you make, or not. As for doing this debate, I know you would chicken out of it. Can't defend your points without lying or changing definitions. I would have loved to have actually had the chance to talk to you, to ask you the cause of your problems with your racist attitude. You have lost our respect, sir. Nothing but a coward getting out of a tight situation because you know what you're saying is wrong. You are blaming history for your failures now. Sins of the father and all that. Anyway, I thank you for your interaction with me. As you already said, I don't want to talk to a liar and a coward. So please, after this, don't ask me to talk to you again. Video to come on all our YouTube interactions. See what your fans think, shall we? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this video to every single one of his videos that he's made. Not all in one day, because I don't want to strike. But I am going to post these videos, and I'm going to post them to every single video that he's made. And to a couple of the comment sections. I want people to actually be able to hear and get the point out that what he actually does is lie, twist, and manipulate. And then calls other people liars, twisters, and manipulators. But yet I ain't changed a single definition. I haven't called him a single name. I haven't called him a bigot or anything else like that, apart from the fact that he uses pink all the time. Don't bother me. You can call me what you like. Not bothered. I've talked to you as an individual person. I've showed you respect. I've been respectful to you. But yet you can't even debate somebody like me who's white, pink, that is the devil, that's a manipulator. But yet you can't debate me and you're running scared. I'm so sorry for your followers and so sorry for the fact that people actually follow somebody like you that is lying and manipulating them to believe in certain rhetoric that you come out with. Now with that, I bid you adieu, sir. Do not contact me. I am not interested in a retaliation. I'm not interested in having a debate or decorum with you anymore whatsoever. If you want to talk to me, email me. If you want to talk to me, then Twitter me. I'm not going to have any more interaction with you on the comment section. Because to be frank, sir, I have lost every single form of respect that I ever had for you. The fact that I was going to give you enough respect to give you a platform to be able to talk your rhetoric, to be able to defend your points of view, and this is how that you try to repay me by twisting any sort of words that I have, changing definitions and downright fucking lying about what I've been saying. And you can't even have the gall or the balls to actually be able to debate me in front of people. But yet you'll have the balls to be able to defame me while you're defaming what I'm actually saying. I have never in my life interacted with somebody with such cowardice as you, sir. You say that you're interested in talking to me, and then you try to have a conversation with me to gauge what my level of intelligence would be, and engage what my level of, I don't know, interaction with you would be. And yet you sit there and try to find ways of coming out, trying to find ways of stopping this debate. Oh, you hide behind a avatar. Well, here's my face. Here's the ugly mug. Oh, you do this all the time. Well, I'm not doing that anymore, am I? Your points that you've made in here are the fact that you think I'm being disrespectful. I have not been disrespectful to you once. Not once. I have always counted your points. I have never said anything that has gone towards you whatsoever. Apart from the fact that you said that you were a lawyer, and then I pulled you up on it, and then you said, no, I'm not a lawyer. Do you see the lies, the treachery that you're making at this point in time? No? I didn't think you did. On that note, I bid you farewell. I bid you adieu. And dear viewer, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video and to this channel. And now all of your videos for the Realities Temple on Earth and Internet Mystery, all of your subscribers, have a think to yourself. If I am such a bad guy and he could beat me so easily, why isn't he debating me? Why isn't he actually having the time to talk to me about my prejudice or my racism? If he can turn me into circles, wrap me around his little finger, so to speak, why isn't he talking to me? Why has he run away? Why has he said that I'm being disrespectful to him when I had nothing to do with being disrespectful to him? I counted his points. Now ask yourself that. Ask yourself that a serious question. Do you want to follow somebody like that? Even if he does speak your language, and even if he does speak what you want to hear, do you really want to listen to somebody that literally has been caught in 3 lies in this little transaction? No? I didn't think you did. Again, as I said, for the last time this time, I bid you farewell. I bid you adieu. Thank you very much for liking and subscribing to this video and to this channel. Thank you very much. I'll speak to you all again real soon. But bye for now.